Dr. Trivedi, why do so many kids have a recessed jaw, their mouth breathing? Like these days it's so prominent. Why?
All right, let's just start with this. What does it even look like? Let's take a look at these images. These are some kids. You can tell right here where the facial profile, the mouth and the chin is actually looking like it's pushed back. This is the same kid about 4 years later, okay? You can see how it's moved forward. So in this profile, this would be called the ideal facial profile. This is non-ideal. This is where it's recessed back. And what caused this to happen is mostly environmental. And that's what the cool thing is. We all think it's people look the certain way they look like because of genetics. It's actually not true. It's partly true, but it's not the whole pie. And what we have to understand is humans been on this planet a really long time. And most people think we all look like this. But that's not the truth. When anthropologists study skulls and they see a certain amount of uniformity in all these skulls, whether it was 1,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, 300,000 years ago, there's a uniformity. And what they see is all their teeth are in perfect harmony, meaning they're perfectly straight. There's 32 of them. And the dimensions of their skulls are pretty much uniform across the board and regardless of where you are on the planet. And that uniformity started changing around the 1900s, and the only thing that changed around that time is we started breastfeeding less because everyone was going to war, World War I, right? So all these guys are going off. Our society changed dramatically. So all the women had to go. We have to make the weapons of war, so all the women went to work. Now they got kids, and so they're like, well, what do we do here? So they invented formula, and they started putting kids onto these bottles. Before, people were breastfeeding for about 3 years. And breastfeeding in itself is what actually forms the jaws. If you think about it, what's happening when you're breastfeeding? The tongue is rhythmically moving inside that mouth, constantly on a nipple. And when a mouth is on a nipple, here's your nipple, here's your mouth, there's a tug of war happening. And that's pulling the child's face forward. And that's how you get that forward growth. And the tongue is moving rhythmically up against the palate, and that's what's spreading the teeth apart, spreading the palate apart. So a lot of the facial forming processes occur during breastfeeding. So if you take breastfeeding away, what's going to happen? Underdevelopment of the jaw. That's what was the first thing that went sideways. The second thing is we started processing our food more. And when I mean processing our food, when a child's teeth start coming in, when they're starting to have teeth and their teeth are coming out, we are under the impression that we have to create baby food. We have to smash it all up. So now this kid's not using any of their muscles of mastication to actually chew that food. When you use your muscles, they get bigger. When your muscles get bigger, your bones get bigger. If you don't use your muscles, then your muscles are weaker, your bones are weaker, and they're going to be smaller. So changes in modern diet and things from what we used to do has made a profound change to our overall genetics. So we went from breastfeeding to bottle feeding, raw solid foods to baby mush food. And from that point on, if everyone knows, when was the last time you really chewed some food? Your jaws hurt like heck because we're so weak at it. All the food we eat right now is basically processed. So our jaws do not function the way we're designed to do. So now we have the bone structure of someone with weak muscle function, right? So now we're 4 generations into that change, and now it's been imprinted into our genes. So now we have a genetic component that's coming through. We have our dietary component that has never changed. We have the breastfeeding system that's completely changed from what it originally was. And now we're having more allergies in the air, which is causing inflammation, which also reduces the growth of the bone. So it's almost like a perfect storm of changes that's happening in the environment in modern life that's causing this to occur. Now that we know what caused it, that's the root cause. We can do things to change it. So even though we're 4 generations in and you're thinking, oh, there's nothing I can do, that's the cool thing about this point. This is what's called epigenetics. If I change the environment of a newborn coming out and we teach the parent, this is exactly what you need to do, we're gonna get this face. Because the genes they can actually twist that quickly, and we can actually influence those genes to literally turn around and give us the ideal facial development.